Hey there, I hope that you all are doing well, or at least as well as could be expected in times such as these. I hope that you've been able to enjoy some of the beautiful weather recently, and I really hope that it continues to be this way. Michigan is being abnormally generous with us for this time of year. Anyway, I would just like to share with you all just a little bit of my testimony today. And by testimony, I do not mean that I'm going to tell you how I became a Christian, because frankly, it's a pretty boring story. Uh, I was young, I was scared of hell, I didn't really know what I was doing, but I did it, and it counts. And I want to tell you a story about how beautiful and complicated it's gotten since then. Um, I'm sure that that is an experience that you all are familiar with as fellow young adults who are doing their best to engage with their faith and also engage with how strange and difficult life can often be sometimes. And so I just want to tell you a brief story about a powerful moment where I think that God met me. When I graduated high school, I carried with me a lot of anger. Things did not go the way that I wanted them to in my last few months, and I felt like a lot of injustice had been done to me and to people that I loved. And I didn't know how to deal with this anger, but I found myself feeling frustrated and upset and thinking often of the people who I thought were responsible for the wrongdoing to my loved ones and myself, and I didn't know what to do with those feelings other than to try and stuff them down, which isn't very effective because they always spring up, or just try to ignore them, which isn't really a plan at all. And at the same time, I'm looking ahead to my first year at college and feeling stressed out and anxious and knowing that I have to leave this anger behind if I'm going to be able to flourish. But I didn't know what to do with it, or really where to go with it other than just to recognize that it was there. But like some of you, I went on a wilderness orientation through Calvin, and I went on the kayaking in the North Channel in the southernmost parts of Canada. And one of our activities one morning was 4 hours of solitude, in which on sort of just this little island in the North Channel, we were all told to spread out and find our spot and bring our Bibles and journals and whatever else we thought we would need. And we were going to go and be out there totally by ourselves and just see what would happen. See what we needed to put down on paper, what we needed to pray about, what we needed to think through as we looked ahead to the coming months of a brand new adult experience. And I remember vividly where I was sitting. I was sitting on sort of this flat rock right on the edge. There wasn't really like a sandy beach, but I was right up against the water, and I was sitting out on this rock with a big tree next to me, and I was praying about my anger and how I didn't know what to do with it, and it felt like a lot to carry. Like, I think that there's a part of anger where you enjoy it a little bit at times. You like being angry because maybe it makes you feel powerful, or it just feels good to have something to think about other than what actually deeply troubles you. And I had just reached this point where I hated it. I didn't want to carry my anger anymore. And I was praying about it, and I remember laying back and looking up at the sky. And in a way that I think it would be hard to summarize to all of you, but I think maybe you know what I mean. I looked up at the sky and I saw the moon. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning and quite sunny out, actually. And so while it was just the shadow of the moon, I look up at the sky and I see the moon. And I think that I felt a sense of divine significance in that moment, a reminder of the presence of God in this moon that shouldn't be there at 10 o'clock in the morning. And in the same way that I reveled in how appalled I was at the existence of the evil that had happened to me, I found a comfort in the presence of just the moon, of a reminder of a God who is watching me and trying to take care of me even in the midst of that injustice. And additionally, I was reminded there that God is the ultimate definition and actuator of justice. That part of our hope as Christians is, in the end, if there is justice to be had, God will have it. So while He is constant, and sometimes it's easy to interpret that as passivity or a refusal to act in a way that will bring about justice, I took comfort in that moment in realizing that He will. He will come back and He will avenge that which needs to be avenged, and He will rectify that which is broken. And to me, that continues to be a comfort. And some nights, as I go out for a walk, or even just as I'm driving back to campus and I look up and I see the moon, I remember that God is my justice, and that while I am still called to be, in verses such as Micah 6:8, called to be an agent of justice, as we like to talk about a lot here at Calvin, that in the end, my failure to achieve it, or my misunderstanding of what it is not going to stem the tide of justice in the end, and that God will achieve it. And I take comfort in that we serve a God who will support us, but also make up for our insufficiency in carrying out His desires. So I just wanted to share that. And if you have moments like that you want to discuss, or just cool stories you want to share, please reach out to a Barnabas. We love hearing those kinds of things. But I hope that you have found this encouraging in some respect, and I hope that it is as comforting to you as it is to me, that we serve a God who will handle us justly in the end, and His will be done. Have a great week, guys.